All right, we are live with Jerrica Contos today, ROI live in five minutes to simple hacks in your business, simple tricks to improve your return on investment. So, Jerrica, what are we talking about today?
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about something that you guys can implement like literally today in your lead gen time if you wanted to. That's super important to me is making sure that I'm delivering things to people that they can take action on immediately. So today I'm excited to share my favorite one.
Okay, well, what is it?
All
Don't keep
right.
me in suspense here.
So, we're going to talk about a super simple follow-up trick that you can use in your CRM. So this is a system. I know for some of you that's a scary word, but this is a little system or structure that you can add into your CRM and your notes in your CRM so that you guys can increase your conversion rate. You can increase your trust and like trust currency with your clients and get an ROI back on your time in your lead generation. I know we all have had the experience where somebody pops up in our CRM and we're like, oh my gosh, who is that? And why is this task on here? What am I supposed to call them about? And
Yeah,
so I want to encourage you guys to make sure that your notes in your CRM after all of your phone calls have two things. So the first thing that we want to have is what the last conversation that you had. And this doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be complicated. It can just be, spoke to them about how they need to get X, Y, and Z painted at their house, right?
yeah, right.
And then we're going to write what their next conversation is. And so your next conversation is going to be this is the important part is what is the next question or the next reason you're going to call them. The next reason is because you sent them painters and you're going to follow up to see if they got appointments scheduled or if they found somebody that they liked, right? That they're going to use to hire for the job that they were talking to you about. Now, where you can really 10x this and get a lot of ROI is actually on the relationship aspect of it. Most of the time, our clients are dropping little hints to us about their life, and
Yes,
we don't ever pick them up.
right,
And
right.
so this system can be really helpful for that. So if your client says something offhand, I don't know about you, I know you, Steve, so you do. I do it too, where we're talking about something and we're just saying out loud, right? Like, well, I'm not going to call them tomorrow because I'm leaving for New York City to go to a wedding, right? So I'll
Right.
call them next week. Like people verbalize things like that, and we just don't listen to it. But if we did, and we wrote in our CRM, going to a wedding in New York City this weekend, ask them how it was, right? Like if that's in your follow-up note or your task for the next time, and you're like, oh, hey, how was that wedding? Just wanted to see if you had a chance to call those painters. That's building trust because they automatically are like, wow, that person really listens to me. They really care about me. And they remembered, right? But you didn't
Yeah.
really remember. You're relying on your system to remember for you.
Yeah, I love that. So this is sales 101, really. But it is an important thing that so many salespeople skip. You're really building the relationship outside of the transaction is what it sounds like you're describing here. So, any other tips? And obviously, you would do this in a CRM or you would track this somewhere else. Any tips on how to make that really simple? This really does work. If you want just an example, we call it the work before the work. That's something that I like to think about as, you're in relationship, you find those connections, those networking opportunities. And this has led us to have a 90% plus conversion rate in our own business because we do this intentionally. But any other like little tips on how to do this, not to make this complicated, but to make it simple?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the most important way to make it simple is like, hopefully, most of us are doing our lead generation in some sort of way in front of our CRM, right? And so it's just a simple pause after the call. You can sometimes, if you're really focused and fast, even take the note on the call, right? Like,
Right.
just super quick in your notes section, like, this is the last thing. Like, it has to be two lines. The more you complicate it, the worse it's going to be. Keep it simple. Take the note right after the call. If you try to remember to do it later down the road, you're already setting yourself up for failure because you're just adding something else to your mental load. So just
Yeah.
do it quick, do it now, two sentences. And you don't have to label it like this is what we talked about. This is what's next. The first sentence is this is what we talked about. The next sentence is this is what we're doing next. Done.
Yeah, I love that. And whether this is a new client or a future long-term client, you're kind of building a really solid foundation. And we all know a client kept is better than a new client. It's a lot easier
Yeah.
to grow a business that way. So if someone hears this and says, "Oh, this sounds awesome," what would be a good expected ROI on this kind of activity, and how does it work there?
Yeah, totally. So you should see an increase in your actual conversion rates. So depending on where the client is in your process, I especially recommend. So this necessarily won't be like replacing any of your standardized drips or anything like that after your appointments. But I like to focus on this especially after appointment because it can really increase your like whatever your appointment attended rate to your whatever signed contract signed ratio, right? That
Right.
spot in there is always the place we're trying to optimize for. So I think if you can focus in that place first, that's where you can really see a good ROI is on that specific conversion rate. And our business on my real estate team, we actually database was like our number one focus in converting. And our average agents had a 67% conversion rate on our real estate team. And then our business had a 77% conversion rate for people in our database to actual closing. So you can have a really big ROI if you're keeping that relationship focused throughout the year.
Yeah, I love that. And I'll just share personally that I am a very stereotypical salesperson of hopping from one thing to the next to the next. This does not need to be overly complicated. It
No.
could be as simple as a quick note. When I started being more intentional and researching my clients and really spending just a little bit of time on learning about them, I found my conversion went from 60 to 90. And this is something we do
Yeah.
on all of our salespeople do at Ciprani Consulting. So it really does work. And it might take no more than just 2 minutes. I mean, it maybe even less, right?
Not
How long does it
even.
really
Yeah.
take if you're doing it while you're having a conversation? So I love that. Any last thoughts on this one before we wrap up today?
No. I hope you guys have fun taking your notes.
All right. Thanks, Jerrica.